In this tutorial, I will show you how to shade inside any object in Inkscape. There are three ways to do it. I wouldn't say there is one optimal one. There is different scenarios which you want to use different methods. My favorite one is a clip group, but it's not optimal for every situation. So let's start. So you have a object, or in this case character, this bunny, and you want to add shading. You can add highlight first. So let's say sun is coming from here, so let's add some highlights. I'm going to do it super professionally. I'm going to just make shapes like one here, one here, here. Okay, let's go here, and let's make like small highlight here. So let's make it here like this and this, and now we are saying like, what? These are not highlights, and it's super messy and it doesn't look right. And you are almost right, but you have to wait a second. So if you want to make shading inside of this shape, you need to use clipping group, and you do it like this. You select your clipping group and you just right click and create clipping group, and now you feel like nothing happened. But if you look into object manager, you can see it's been grouped, and there is group in this group called clip. So everything in this group will mask anything, any object which is inside of this group. So this could be a little confusing. So let's cut out this object, and if you want to add it, you need to first double click it. So, and now paste it, Command V, and now you can see, well, you can paste it in a place, add it, paste in a place, and now you can see the shapes are still there, but visually they are masked under this shape. So now you can shade it as you like, I guess, like this and like this and like this. Okay, you can also add shadow. So if you are still double clicked, or you clicked on one of the shaded object, you are inside of this group and you can still shade. So you can basically create new shape like this, and this doesn't matter. You can make it like this, and you can change the color to the shade of the gray, well, dark, not gray. Yeah, and that's how you do it. You can even like add some kind of cheeks or something like that with, I don't know, new color. This one, let's say like this and this, and it's all masked out. Yep. So you can see these shapes are still there. If you go to the view and display outline, you can see these shapes are still there, but they are masked by this new shape. Well, not new shape, but shape, which is under, and you can and you can still edit this shape. You can just change it and it will automatically, like, let's say you want this ear bigger, and it's all still flexible and it's still cutting out perfectly as you want. So I would use this in any case if you want to do any kind of illustration and you don't care about web or screen printing or anything like that. Because it's non-destructive, you can still edit this, and you can like change your mind and use this, and let's say here, and it's still live. You can still change it, like, oh, okay, I don't like this shadow, it should be like farther or less farther, I guess, and you still have control over this. And also you can add strokes. It's a little complicated, but it's possible. You need to, because if you select the shape and just add stroke, it's going to look bad. I can show you. You can see it's under the shading. You really don't want it. So yeah, let's not do that. But you can double click it, select the shape, and go edit, clone original path with LPE, live path effect, and then it will create new shape which is linked to the shape under it. So what it means, you can see basically it's copying this shape. This shape is copying this shape. So you can a little differently. Let's create new layer. We can change the color of this layer so we know it's the new layer. You need to change this, and then you have a new layer. Okay, so we are clicking this path. You can see you cannot actually move it because it's linked to the object on down there. And you can click it. Actually, no, you have to click it here. You can click it and move to the layer 2 we just created. We can rename it line art, and now it's here. You can just change the appearance of this. So let's not put any fill, but let's put stroke on it. And now you can see it's on top of it, which is better, but you still really don't want that. You want it under the whole shape, so you can just click and drag it here, and it's there. It's under the whole shape, and you can add the width, and it's still editable. So like if you change this, you see it's kind of glitchy, but it works. It's still linked to this, and you can do the same thing for the ears. So you can select the ears and go edit, clone, create original path LPE, and get it out of this group. So move it to the line art, move, now it's there, and just edit some stroke, and yeah, you can do that. And if you want to be fancy, you can add power stroke. Well, not fancy, but really if you want it to look properly, you can add power stroke. And if you control click, you can add new point, and also control click again this point and edit new. Change this type to the fit bezier, and if you shift click, you can set width to the 0, and also do the same on this. And actually you have to change it to bezier smooth, I guess. For example, maybe this, and you can add a new, and you can just edit here, and the same for this. And then again, it's kind of annoying that you need to do this like this, but what else can you do? So yeah, and up. If you control click, you can add a new point and you can control how it looks. And you don't need to do it like this. You can also like sharp end if you put it like this. So yeah, you can play with that, and once again. This, and actually you can do the same thing for the stroke androids. So yeah, so it's line under. And you can go to the path effect and add the power stroke, and yeah, you can just change the width of this. You can make it smaller or bigger. Yeah. So that's method with the clipping mask, and really cool thing about this is that this is still alive, so like you can change this and it's still cutting off as you want it. Like you can decide that I want these cheeks to be like here. So that's method 1. It's good for when you don't care about printing or web or whatever, and you can still change this shape to this, and yeah. So method 2, it's path operations. So basically it's very similar but also very different. So I'm not going to do the same shading. This is the same principle as before, but you need to do a few more operations. So these are highlights, this is shadow. You need to copy this shape, command, and paste it in place, and now do some path operations. So I have to unite this shape, now it's one shape, and copy it because I will need this shape again, and select this shape and make operation intersection, and you can see now we have just this shape, and everything which was touching become one shape. So and you need to repeat this operation for every shape you want to add to your shading. So I still have in my clipboard this shape, so I'm again clicking Command F and path intersection, and again Command F and path intersection. So yeah, disadvantage of this approach is that it's destructive. If you change this shape, this is not cutting out anymore anything, and it's not linked to this. And also, if you change your mind that, oh, I wanted this shading to start here, it's really hard. You just need to do it manually, and it's not so simple. You can see that's the one problem of this. And second problem is, for some reason, Inkscape does this weird stuff that if you zoom, there is some error in operations, and there is small gap on the edges when you zoom out, and you can feel it, you can see it's, I don't know if it's visible in a video, but it's visible to my eye that there is weird ugly edges, and it's more visible if you make it really contrast. So if you make it like white, for example, if you make it white and this is pink, you can see that there is a small pink outline which looks very dirty to me. Yeah, but this approach is good for the web, and if you want to hand these files to the Illustrator or screen printing or something like that. Because if you go to the outline mode, so display outline, you can see all these shapes are overlapping, and you can see they're like clean. Compared to this, like this looks very messy because these shapes are outside of the shape. So yeah, you can do that. And there is a fix how to do these ugly edges, but it's more work, and yeah, but I can show you how to do it. You can go to the path effects and look for offset, and you can add very small offset like 0.1, and now, or maybe even like less, like 0.2, 0.3. Well, just to find some value which will overlap this. So I don't know, I would say like 0.5 to be safe. And then you can just copy this effect, just copy it, and you can paste it on other object path, past path effects, and now it's applied to every object. Yep. So this is the second method with path operations, and there is a third method which is very similar to the clipping group method, but this one is slightly different because this method works with the paths, and this method works with the color value from white to black. If something is white, it's going to be visible, and if something is black, it's going to be invisible. So let's steal this shading, I guess. Okay, I'm stealing this shading. I hope it works. Yes. Okay. So same thing. You can add it here. This shading like this, and again you can group this and copy and paste in the same place. So Command F. Actually, that's not the official shortcut. So just edit, paste in place. I don't know what is the official shortcut. It's probably hard to remember for me, so I changed it to Command F. And now you need to change this to the white color because you want mask the white. So now group your shading and select all of this. This needs to be on the top, and now you go to set mask. Yep, and you can see this is the very similar thing to the clip group, but you don't have these shapes linked, so you kind of lose this flexibility of the shading. But like you can still edit these shapes if you select this and go to outline mode, and maybe you need to select it here. Yeah, okay, here we are. So yeah, if you click on this, on this whole group, you can still edit this shape, but it's no longer linked to the shape under it, so you need to do it manually. And it's also not supported in browsers or in Illustrator, so yeah, it's not suitable for if you want straight SVG to put it to the website and just use it. It's not usable for that. And you can see it's blue, and that means that it's a mask. And blue outline, and if you can see the green means that that is a clip path, and you can still just change it and it works. So yeah, that's 3 ways how to shade inside another object.